Hello guys, let's discuss this problem in HackerRank called Java 1D array. So actually in this problem what I was supposed to do is basically understand arrays in Java. So I am assuming that you guys don't have a clear idea on what arrays are in Java. So first of all, to declare an array in Java, what you're supposed, the syntax is pretty easy. So int is nothing but the data type that we are going to store in that array. First of all, array is nothing but a contiguous block of memory that stores some data. Actually they have defined it for us over here. You can read it to yourself obviously, but this word contiguous is really important. Contiguous means one after the another. So basically in a line you can say. So int means the data that we are going to store in that array. Then we followed by some square brackets. Then the array name, in which in this case is my array, equals to new. Why new? Because we are obviously creating a new object. That's why new, to allocate the memory to it. And then int, again int means the data that we are going to store, and 4 means the number of elements that we are going to store in this array. So basically how many number of blocks do you want in this array? If I say 4, that means 4 blocks get allotted to this my array separately, and you can obviously store your data in it, and it is going to be integer obviously. If you declare it as string, then strings will be there in this array, and so on, float or whatever you want. So again, and if you want to get access to the element at index 3, now actually one more important thing, the tricky part is the indexing starts from 0 and not from 1. So if the indexing starts from 0, basically I have 4 blocks. So 0, 1, 2 and 3. Basically 4 blocks. That's why it will go from 0 up to 3 and not from 1 up to 4. So it will not go from 1 up to 4. The indexing will go from 0 up to 3. So my array, when we write index 3, we will get the particular element at index 3. Basically we use square brackets and the index inside the square brackets to get access to that particular element. Now task is pretty much easy. You have to take in n as the number of elements in that array, and basically take in each and every element and store in that array and print out the elements, right? Okay, they have defined it for us, I think. Yeah. So I think it looks pretty easy. We have the main function, then they have declared a scanner object for us. They have taken n as well for us. So we are basically have to just declare the array and use for loop to basically take in elements. So see, they have already used n for the number of elements. So let us do one thing. Let us declare an array. So the syntax, as I told you, int, which is the data that I'm going to store in this array, the square brackets, then my array name, which is going to be a in this case. I think they have used a over here, so we'll also use a. So int a, and a is going to be the name of that array, equals to new, to allocate new memory to it. And after that, new, again int is the data type, and inside the square brackets I'm going to write number of elements that can be stored in this array, which is going to be n, that is taken by them rightly for us, right? Now fine, now we have declared the array. Now to take an input, see, on each and every new line, so this is 5 that we took in as n, and now for next 5 lines they have taken in particular input, right? So what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to use a for loop so that you can continue to take the input in n times. Actually 5 times means n times in this case, right? So for that, let us use a for loop. So for, let us declare a variable int I. Let us start it from 0, because I told you indexing is going to start from 0. You can start it from 1 as well. And what will be the range? Range will be I less than a dot length. A dot length will a is the name of the array, remember, and a dot length will give me the length of this array with correct spelling, LENGTH. Okay, a dot length will give you the length of this array, and I'm not using less than equals to, I'll tell you why. So and I plus, this is a condition that I used for the for loop. So see, I told you indexing starts from 0. So suppose the length of this array is 5, so it will go from 0 up to 4 actually, because a dot length is 5. So I will go from 0 up to I less than 5. So I less than 5 means I can go only up to 4, because I is an integer obviously. So I will go from 0 up to 4. Or to go up to 5, you can do anything. Just start I from 1 up to less than, and then you will write less than equal to. It is both of them is fine. But if they have printed the array over here, and their condition and our condition are pretty much the same. So that's why this condition is pretty much recommended, because it is always recommended to start indexing from 0, so that it is easy for us to write the code inside the for loop. So always start index from 0 for the for loop that you're going to use for the array, right? So now what you have to do is basically take in the integers. So I told you all to get access to any particular element in that array. I'm going to write a, then I'll use square brackets and then the index. So what index? At index I, because I'm using I for the for loop. So a of I, now I have to set it to something. To set it to what? I have to set it to any new element that I'm going to take in. So this element, this element, this element, and so on. So to take an element, obviously you guys know that we are going to use scanner object, which is scan in this case. They have declared us over here. Let us do one thing. Let's just copy this, or we can't copy it, I guess. So scanner.nextInt, I capital, and nextInt. So basically we are taking in scan by using the scanner object. We are taking in integer and storing it at a particular index. So it will go from I of 0, A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, and A of 4. It will obviously not go up to 5, because 5 is the length of that array. and indexing starts from 0 again. So let's run this code and see what happens now, because they have already printed out for us and sample test case is working. Let us see other test cases. Do only two test cases. Yeah, they are fine. It's done. So that's all. Stay tuned and keep learning. You can subscribe to our channel for getting more updates regarding videos. Thank you.